Hello.
It's going to be one of those.
Hi, everybody.
What's up, everybody? How's it going? My name is George.
And I'm Susie.
And this together is the
I know, right?
Podcast.
What's up?
What's going on, guys? It's been a long time.
It hasn't been that long.
Yeah, I feel like it's been 3 weeks, man.
Yeah, but like you've definitely left them hanging longer.
Yeah, this is true. This is true. Yeah. Wow. You're going to say me? Why is that?
Because it's always you.
You know what? I feel so. Susie says I always get into this rut or this what, like a mood, or what is it? No, not a mood, like a phase. Every year around this time, I mean, it's February already, but like in January.
Like you started in like late December.
Yeah, so.
Which, I mean, I get seasonal depression. George does not realize that what he goes through is depression. He thinks he's just in a funk.
Yeah. Which is probably a good thing, no?
That what? That you get in a funk?
That I don't realize that there's depression, and I just think it's a funk.
No, I feel like then you're totally unaware of your feelings.
I mean, I know I'm in the funk, though. I just don't see it as a sadness.
Uh-huh.
So you know what I mean? I just feel like, oh, fuck, I'm down right now, but I'm going to fight back, you know?
Yeah, well, that's good that you fight back.
But you know what? I don't think it's... The reason why I don't think it's depression is because I feel like I put so much weight on myself at the end of the year and the beginning of the year.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like all the goals that I set myself for the year has to be done in January.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why that's why last time we canceled our podcast, because you're like, you seem too busy. You remember? You're like, you seem too busy, too preoccupied.
Well, first and foremost, you were not here. And you were like, I forgot today was the podcast.
Yeah,
and I was like, I didn't remind you.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you did seem like a little like, ooh.
Flustered.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, I'm going to give him his space.
Yeah, so.
But it may seem okay that you don't acknowledge it as that. And maybe every year it's not depression. Maybe some years it is and maybe some years it's not. But it just means you're totally unaware. And the only problem really is, because you do your best to get out of funks or depression or whatever, is that at some point it's going to happen to where it's so deep you're going to be like, how did I even get here?
Yeah.
That's the only thing. Because that's happened to me before, where I'm like, no, I'm just going to keep going. And then it's like, what's happening? I'm so upset all the time. So
interesting.
yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
So I have a few topics to talk about today. I really want to talk about, I think even though I don't want it to be like we are the mental health podcast, right? I feel like that is the resounding thing right now. So my boy Kanye.
Oh my God.
My boy Ye. My boy Yeezy.
Yeah. Guys, you know what, guys? Too, if you're just listening to us right now, or you're barely into the beginning of the I Know Right podcast, the way this started was Susie was here to inform me of what's going on in the world and what's really happening. So I have no idea what's going on. I only know he's talking to this girl that wears the same shit every day. That people are talking shit about that, and that he moved across the street from Kanye, from Kim. Then that's probably
you
the
don't
only
know
thing.
anything else.
No, that's it. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Oh, other than the Pete Davidson thing, is that?
No, I mean, no, that's not it.
Okay, is that over with already?
No, it's not. Okay,
shit.
let me get comfortable. All right, so I am a huge Kanye West fan. Like, I feel like he is the epitome of Chicago. Like, when he speaks, like all that stuff.
Okay.
As the years have passed, I think we have all realized, and he has realized, he has mental health issues, right? Like, he's bipolar, he has said, and you can definitely tell when he's not on medication. And while I am not a Kim Kardashian fan, I am not at all, like not 1%, you know, I can appreciate what she has done in certain aspects, but I am not a fan. I kind of feel for her, because it can't be easy being married to someone with such big emotions like that. And I think the reason I think that's because I feel like, you know, that I'm not bipolar. But I definitely do know bipolar people, and it's difficult to like handle them at their best and at their worst. They're almost hardly ever level, you know. So right now, Kanye is in a manic state, okay, of his bipolar, which I would, no one sue me, okay, that this is all just speculation. It doesn't seem like he's on his medication right now. So we all know Kim is dating someone else, whether it's for real or if it's for fake. Who knows? And honestly, who cares? I say if it's for real, awesome for her because Pete Davidson looks fun. And, you know, I don't think she's ever allowed herself to date someone for that reason. I think she's always dated to like move up in the world. And I think that that always meant for her like a producer because her first husband was a producer, right? And then like she started dating Reggie Bush, and like obviously Reggie was before. Like, so I think all her relationships have been to move herself up. And maybe now she no longer needs to do that, and she can actually date someone that's fun. And I feel like he looks fun, you know, so good for her. But Kanye can't live like that. At first he was all like, I want her back.
Yeah, okay.
Like, we're going to get back together.
Okay.
And so I found it super funny after him doing that for like a month. Like, he was going on interviews and stuff. Kim's like, I find it really funny that Kanye keeps saying he wants to get back together when his girlfriend literally lives with him, you know? And I was like, ooh, such a city boy, Kanye, you know? Like, Kanye would do that. And now he found Julia Fox. They literally started dating New Year's Eve. Okay.
Okay.
She's an actress from that movie Uncut Gems. I've never seen it. But apparently she's like in the mix and has been in the mix for a while. By the way, she has a son. Does she ever see this boy? I don't know. None of my business, but I am judging. Anyhow, so the thing about Kanye, if you've been following him for a while, he needs a muse. So like Amber Rose was a muse for him. Like, I remember when he started dating Amber Rose, I was like, whoa, like he would dress her how he liked and like all that stuff. And then once he got with Kim, we saw all the, like, we heard all that stuff of how he would clean out Kim's closet, like throw everything out and fill it with all new stuff. Like, he's about like dressing his woman so she matches his energy and his style at the moment. And he's already done that with Julia Fox. After 3 days of dating, he did that. Okay. So needless to say, it sounds like he's in a manic, like, up phase, you know, which if you're not familiar with bipolar, it just means like you have excess energy. So you're here, you're there, you're doing this, you're doing that. But then it tends to magnify certain things. So if like you're paranoid, you're going to be hella paranoid during this time.
Okay.
If you're the type of person that does drugs, for example, you're going to be like in a, you know, drug feeding type of, you know, like it magnifies these things for you during your bipolar. Like, I had an old boss that had bipolar, and like his main secretary was like, yeah, like he literally came and just started painting my kitchen because I had mentioned like I needed to paint my kitchen, and he went there unannounced, uninvited, and started painting her kitchen. But that's the sort of thing that you do when you're like on a high, on a manic state of bipolar. So, you know, this is where Kanye is right now. But so Kanye has gotten into the habit of airing out his drama with Kim, like on like social media or like publicly. So if you recall, like last year around this time, he was saying how Kim wanted to abort North.
Oh shit!
Like, that
no
was
way.
You didn't know that?
No, I didn't know that.
No, like that was foul. You know what I mean? Like, that's when he like was running for president.
Oh yeah, okay.
And like all that stuff, and he was like crying on stage because he was like, yeah, like I had to beg her not to abort North, and it was just so out of line. Like, you don't freaking say that, you know. And he was
don't say that.
He was saying how Chris controls everything, and like obviously that's probably true, but like he was airing out stuff. So recently, like, he's had problems with Pete Davidson, right? He made a song where he was saying he was gonna beat Pete Davidson's ass, you know, and like while he's dating this Julia girl, by the way. But now he's getting with the kids thing. Like, he's talking about like these issues on Instagram. So maybe like a month ago, it was one of Chicago's birthday party. And he went on Instagram to be like, I'm not invited. Kim won't give me the address. Like, he is on like video, you know, like that's my kid, blah, blah, blah. So eventually he makes it to the party, and he's like, oh yeah, thanks to my boy Travis Scott. Like, I got the address.
Shit.
Like he airs you out.
Damn.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, he, you know, like
he threw him under the bus.
Threw him under the bus. And then like, so he's at the party. Fine. Right. do we even know if he was being excluded from the party? No, but like with the behavior that he's been holding, I would be kind of like apprehensive of him being there too, right?
Yeah.
And so, so there's been like little things like that between him. Really, Kim hasn't really been responding. But then this weekend, he puts up a screenshot of North because North and Kim have a TikTok together, which is not something that's rare because Courtney and Penelope, which is Kim's sister and Kim's niece, they have a TikTok together. So like if I follow them, I'm not gonna even lie. Like I follow both of those accounts. They're funny. But it's really the kids doing them. The moms come out in them, like Kim comes out in North's TikTok or whatever. But like it says like this account is controlled by an adult, and you can't leave them comments. Like you can't comment anything. So
because you can put that on and off.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like no one comments anything, whatever. So they just do like silly stuff like dancing videos and they, whatever. And he put up a big thing like, how do I, get in contact, this is my first divorce. First of all, he threw shade at Kim because this is Kim's third divorce. So he's like, this is my first divorce. I don't know how you handle this. Like, I don't want my daughter on TikTok, blah, blah, blah. And you're just like, ooh, this is getting good, So, and then Kim responds something. She's like, I'm really tired of Kanye trying to make me look bad in public when really I had the dream of us co-parenting amicably. And she's like, him airing out this stuff in public only hurts our kids more than her being able to do a TikTok where she's just being creative and that I'm controlling. And she said something like about being the main caregiver for the kids. It was like crazy because she never says anything. And then she even said at the end, she's like, now if Kanye would respond to the third lawyer that he's gotten so that we can, finish this divorce, quickly, blah, blah, blah. So it was like, damn, right? So and then he responds like main caregiver, like he gets offended at that,
Yeah.
Now, somebody asked me, Presley asked me, he's like, what do you think? Like, who's wrong? I'm like, honestly, they're both wrong. Yeah. I'm like, they're both wrong. And at the same time, they're both right.
Okay. You know what? Forget. I don't know.
You know what I mean? Like, they're both wrong in their own ways. And at the same time, they're both right. The problem is that they are always going to be butting heads and trying to figure out, like, what's the actual right thing.
You're right. And that's the problem, that when they should come, they should start thinking about the kids. Fuck that.
Yeah.
Whatever the relationship is going on with them, it's over with. That's it. Like what? That's it. Move on. Yes. It's all about the kids now. Yes. Okay, how do I have a better relationship with my kids?
Yes.
That's it.
Exactly.
Forget
so,
that.
Why didn't So and then like it just kept going on during the weekend. He even posted a screenshot where Kim's cousin was all like, "I have your back. I'm on your side." Like she did that, right? And he was all like replying to her, and then she's like, also like,
dang, he don't give a fuck. He just be throwing everyone under the bus. He don't give a shit.
But then she was like, oh, do you think it's a good time right now to get Yeezys? Like she was asking him for Yeezys, yo. I'm like, that's the worst timing. Okay, so wait, hold up. So that stuff kept going throughout the weekend. Yesterday, he posted just a screenshot, and we didn't see who it was to. It was like, send me Kim's number. Or send me Kim's new number or something.
To somebody that you couldn't see who it was. Okay.
And then on the next one, he posts, like, someone replied, like, here you go. And then Kim's number at the bottom, right?
So everyone can see it.
No, it just says, like, the contact name, Kim Kardashian. Okay. But then on the caption, he's like, thank you, Larry Johnson, blah. And it's just like, why?
Oh, my God.
And so this guy.
Who's this Larry Johnson guy, though?
So I looked him up. It's Kim's former assistant's husband. I'm like, that causes so many problems. I'm like, Kanye is crazy.
Kanye's getting everyone fired.
Yeah, I'm like, Kanye is crazy for that.
I would not trust him with anything if I was.
And the comments are like, well, Larry's never getting Kim's number again.
Yeah, fuck, he fucked up.
Yeah, but it's a tough situation because, like I said, Kim Kardashian's a person that's very well set in this community because her dad was a lawyer, and obviously her mom's like super overprotective with their image and careers. Mm-hmm. Kanye also has a lot of money and resources, but he does have these issues that probably makes it super hard to be able to compromise and have conversations with and all that stuff. I don't know. It's so tough.
I feel like Kanye's more, what's the word? Cancelable? cancelable. I
Yeah,
don't know,
than Kim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just for the fact that he does crazy shit like that.
I think that people don't like that. People want Kanye, like old Kanye. People like want Mr. Narcissistic, high, like
Yeah.
self-esteem.
I hate the
like,
new Kanye.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
want the young.
Exactly. Hey, bars.
Yeah.
Did you make that up?
I know. That's what
I know.
I'm about to say.
I know. My brother and I would do that, and our kids would be like, "Whoa, like, should I just make that up?" Like, yup, right now. It
Off the
just
dome.
comes. Yeah, it just comes like that, gifted. But like, I just feel that he's on this when he crashes, because like when you're in a manic state with bipolar, you have to crash down. Then you go from mania to depression. That's gonna be hard. That's gonna be a really hard fall. It's gonna be a really hard crash, and I feel bad, but it's just tough.
And you
It's
think it'll
tough.
be harder than like when his mother passed him?
I think that his energy right now is too much. That I think it's gonna be a hard crash for sure.
Because I think when you involve kids, like, okay, so I'm not gonna, but like, there's levels to it.
Yeah.
I think kids like end up,
yeah,
surpassing
Making it up.
mom, and
Yeah,
you
for
know what I
sure,
mean,
for
and
sure,
stuff like
for
that.
sure.
So when there's kids involved and stuff like that, and then, a loved one too. Like, I don't know if I guess he loved Kim, right? So
I
at
think
one
so.
point, so
I think so, and I think he still does, and I think that a lot of this stuff is actually him just kind of dealing with it.
or like hurting, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the fucked up thing too. That there's such in the public eye that. Like to somebody here in Chicago, that's just a normal fucking relationship. This is a normal fucking relationship.
That's why I'm like, I just love Kanye so much. I'm like, but I'm like, I am glad I'm not either of them. I'm like, I'm glad I'm not Kim. Because can you imagine him being like, yeah, and then you behind our back called our daughter fuck. Like, I'd be like, what the hell?
Yeah, I remember.
You know what I mean? Like, why are you saying that?
No wonder when I saw the tweet just said, you know what? Kanye is just a regular Chicago dude, and that's what it is. So
Yes.
no wonder why now it makes sense. So
He's the guy that leaves you the voicemail like, you know what? Fuck you. Like, and you're just like, yes. And so I'm like,
man.
I'm glad that's not me.
Yeah.
But that's what's happening. But I do have sympathy for Kanye and Kim. But I do have sympathy for Kanye because I know this is not going to end well.
And he actually has the problem, like the mental, like the
Yeah.
seed or whatever. So, but what I'm thinking is like the old Kanye, like he didn't seem like that when he was coming up, when
He
the
did.
2 Polo Kanye, yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did.
It was
for
just his
sure.
energy was directed somewhere else. Or
No,
what?
I just think that it probably wasn't as noticeable. But like, remember that show on MTV? It was like behind the scenes or like a day in the life or some shit like that.
Uh-huh.
It was like they would follow artists for a day
Oh,
or
yeah, yeah,
something
yeah.
like that. By the way, those were like the original reality shows, and I want those back because I was like, whoa, like you got to see like where Kanye went to school, like his mom came out in there, like everything. And I remember like he was like, because he was a good student, like he's honestly like a smart person, he's like. I'm not gonna call him a genius, even though I have thought that.
to make that much money, you have to be some type of high mental capacity.
He brought out this painting that he had made in high school. Well, his mom brought it out, and he was like, "Oh, it was like a really like abstract keyboard, right?" And he's like, "I mean, there was nothing crazy about it. It just was a keyboard. There was a lot of colors and whatever, But he recited the beat." He's like, that's what's on this paper. He's like, you can't hear it? Like, he just felt like the camera guys were stupid. Like, he was like, you can't hear it? He's like, that's what's on this paper. He was like he did it. It was just like, I'm like, I'm like, okay. So for him to be like, that's a special thing. I can't think of the name right now, but when you're able to hear colors, I think that that's a whole other level of intelligence and awareness, right? But he could hear colors. Not only can he hear colors, but also like numbers and letters make sounds to him. So like, while that doesn't make him crazy or mental health, I think that sometimes having so much going on up there can be a little overwhelming, and that I think that your chemistry has to cope somehow. Yeah, but he can hear colors. So
That's
yeah, he
interesting.
was crazy. He was like, yeah, this orange, and but like, I wish I could go back and find that clip, but I was like, oh, okay, whatever. And obviously, when he had like the ultra confidence, I think a lot of people thought he was just freaking an arrogant jerk from Chicago. But I think that some of it has to do with idealistic narcissism, right? Because he's always unaware that he can do any wrong.
Wait, unaware that he could do any wrong?
Yeah, I think that he just thinks that he's always right and that we're behind. Like,
okay.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, we don't...
Like, he's living in the future.
Right.
He's living
like
in...
we don't get him.
Right.
But sometimes you're like, no, you're actually wrong right now. You know what I mean? But I think that he can't feel that or hear that or understand that because these mental health... So he was always like that, So...
I wonder if that's pretty interesting. But do you
like
ever
Kanye, though.
do you ever think? Yeah, I love Kanye too. I love just his creativities. But do you ever think like we are behind?
I think sometimes I'm behind. Yeah.
Like from him. Like I'm not saying like.
Yes, I am. I do feel that we're behind. Do you ever like just hear someone's music or see someone's art and then everyone just clowns them on the internet?
Right.
And you're just like, they couldn't have thought this was good. But then I do consider, I'm like, maybe we just don't see that vision and we're too closed off in some way.
Yeah.
It's like when I tell you guys, like, oh, no one gets me. Like, you guys are just like dumb or whatever. I honestly feel that, but I also feel like I'm hardly wrong.
Right.
So I think
the Kanye's coming out.
I think it just has different levels. But there are times where I'm like, maybe we're just closed off, right? Like maybe them dressing that way or them doing like maybe we're just behind and we don't get it.
Yeah, because I think there was the one interview where he was just talking to somebody. I think he was talking to Sway, and he was just explaining something like pillars of like a business, and everyone was just like, oh my god, this guy's so dumb. What does he know about business? And now he was like signed to like the biggest fucking shoe company, blah blah blah, and all this stuff. You know what I mean? Like, and it's crazy that we couldn't see his vision until that was an old ass fucking interview. It was like 5 years, 10 years ago. Yeah. And then finally, what he was talking about, 10 years come past, and that when they say like a post doesn't age well, that post aged well because he knew exactly what. But at that time, we were thinking he was fucking crazy.
They're like, oh, Kanye's just being Kanye.
Like Kanye, but then when that 10 years later, he's doing this fucking crazy shit. We're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So I think that's just I don't know. So I feel like he seemed so normal when he was just coming up. You
think so?
Yeah.
No.
I mean, like I see that like the arrogantness, like the cockiness, but like I feel like when you're dope like that with your rhymes and your music and your producing skills and all that, like of course you have to have some kind of
all I know is that I feel that he's and you and I both know someone with narcissistic qualities, but it just is that he was able to kind of, I think there was a lot of observing on his part when he was first starting up, that maybe he was able to appear quote unquote normal or more or less of what he is now.
Okay.
Because I think that he's an observer. He's like studying the game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
And I think that once he reached a specific thing, that he was like, all right, like it's time for me to just like speak my mind type of thing.
Right.
But man, I would hate to have to deal with him. There has to be a lot of narcissistic abuse on the people around him. I mean, he is when he gets in these positions, he does beef with friends. And how about when he was like mad at like the baby or who, you know what I mean? Like, and then he just puts it all out there. Like that's gotta be rough. Gotta be rough. And I know that there was like Big Sean interview. And Big Sean talks about how he loves Kanye. He would go anywhere in the world for Kanye, and how he said all this stuff for Kanye because Kanye put him on and all that stuff. But like the way Big Sean talks about it, which to me, Big Sean is one of the most woke artists that I know. He sounds like when I'm talking about certain things, like you're grateful. And so you've allowed a lot of behavior to pass.
Yeah, okay.
Because you were grateful. And maybe you didn't realize that you're freaking being abused.
Yeah.
So, I mean, while I love him, he does have these other qualities about him. So that's the Kanye tea right now.
Wow. That's so interesting. I wonder, man, I don't want to, like, you know what it sucks? It's like, you don't want to see people that you love like kind of just dwindle away like that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like sucks seeing them like that, you know?
Yeah.
Like it's kind of like look at this musical genius and he's still creating crazy music, but like look where he's at mentally, you know?
Yeah.
And it's just like you're seeing the downfall of like a genius or a prodigy, you know?
Yeah.
Like
For sure.
and it's just kind of like, geez, if he would have just had some type of mental capacity or something like that. So
some help.
yeah.
You know?
So, but I mean, do people like that even ask for help or know about help?
I don't think
Because I know I kind of know a narcissist, and I feel like because you just said it right now, they don't do no wrong.
Yeah.
So why would they even ask for help?
100%.
So like what they don't they don't see anything wrong with what they do, and then they won't ask for help. So that's so crazy. But you know what I was thinking? Like you said, bipolar.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't bipolar like dangerous?
Not necessarily.
Oh no, you know what? I'm so sorry.
You're thinking about schizophrenia.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Schizophrenia can't because that's like constant paranoia.
Yeah,
and you see hallucinations. And
yeah,
stuff
that's
like
the
that.
one. Yeah. Because
I'm scared of getting schizophrenia.
Dude, one time I was at Simone. So I don't know if you ever heard about some girl some dude getting stabbed at Simone's.
It's happened a couple times, no?
Yeah. So there's
Okay.
been 3 people dead at Simone's
Okay, yeah.
before. So they've been like red flagged or whatever. I guess there was this teacher at Simone's, and you know, it was I don't know how it is
Yeah.
now because it was back then. It was like
Don't you
10
hate that? Like, so I don't want to interrupt really quick, but I've been like having the itch to go clubbing. And Percy's like, where would you even go? I'm like, I don't even know. I'm
Yeah,
like, I don't
wouldn't
even know what's
know where to
cool.
go. I
But
wouldn't.
we went ever since we went to the Bulls game. I was like, hey, I'm like, I could rally. I'm like, I could rally. Let's go out.
I wouldn't know where to go. I think, yeah, I just see younger
But
people
Simone's
talking.
was it.
Yeah,
For
Simone's
those
was popular
younger people,
back then. Yeah,
younger
so,
listeners, Simone's was it.
Yes.
It's not anymore.
Yeah, I
but
think I don't even know what's hot right now. Like
Tao.
Tao.
Yeah.
Well, I know, but Blue Light's always been hot.
Yeah.
because it was always the latest one to be open.
Yeah.
So that was always hot. So, but I hear a lot of people talking about that. But yeah, so
Embarrassing. Please stop talking about that.
so yeah, so I was with a lot of our friends, and anyway, one was gonna become a doctor, and he knows a lot about all this shit. Anyways, so we're sitting there at the bar, and then some fucking you just hear this whole commotion, and you just see this guy like squirting blood like onto the bar. Yeah, and we're just like, what the fuck? And then my doctor friend ran over there, you know, and he fucking went to try to help out. And this guy, he had schizophrenia. Some guy, so the guy came up behind him. So do you remember, like, you could see the front of the bar, and then like it wrapped around.
Yes.
So he was sitting on this side, and you could see the front of it, and the stage was behind him. So he was like on the corner, and then like the guy just came up like with a broken glass.
No.
Crazy, like,
No.
nasty. Yeah, it was crazy, dude. And
wait, and that guy died?
he died, dude.
No.
Yeah. And my friend told me, he's like, dude, I saw it. He's like, I saw him die. Yeah, like, cause it was it was nasty because he came out with all this blood and shit. Cause my friend was trying to help him, you know, like.
No.
So
yeah. Oh my god.
So the guy was on the ground. It was chills, right? Chills in my body.
Yeah, for sure.
But like, the guy that died was a teacher, and the guy that killed him was schizo and then he killed him because he was thinking that the teacher that was helping his girlfriend. Was he was sleeping with her.
Oh.
But she wasn't. They were just like he was seeing like all these signs,
right?
I guess. And he's like, she's cheating on me with him, and blah blah blah. And like he killed her. He killed him. So like, and it was a big story because he was huge in Pilsen. Like he was a awesome teacher in Pilsen.
Man, no.
And yeah, I remember like. I remember they hauled him out. I remember they seen his face, and then they, like, when they pulled him out, they slammed him against the window, and I was on the window like this, and I could see his face like right here, and like everyone was like punching him, and like they're like spitting on him, and all like the security is holding him down, and they're like, what the fuck? Yeah, it was crazy, dude. So then like I remember my friend was telling me like, bro, he's like he's dead, like that guy's dead, like he's like I saw him cough, like that last cough is like that was it. And I was like, holy shit. And that's what I was confusing it with because I was like, damn, isn't that dangerous? Like maybe that's dangerous for North and Chicago and then Kim and all that shit. But
all mental illness has its, dangers, right? And bipolar definitely is one of those. But schizophrenia is a whole different thing. And just more so because you're having hallucinations that you think are real.
Yeah.
And sometimes they're non-dangerous. Sometimes they could be like, oh, like I see a tree right here with birds singing, and you're like, there's no tree here. You know what I mean? But sometimes it's stuff like that, like, oh, paranoia, like you're cheating on me, or that guy's after me, or like,
Right.
or whatever. And then that's when things get too crazy. And I know, like, without medication, that stuff gets more aggressive, you know? And you feel like you're in danger. But like a study, because I studied psychology actually, if one of your parents is over the age of 50 when like you're conceived, you have a 50% chance of becoming schizophrenic.
50%.
50%.
That's a coin toss, dude. That's like,
bro. Guess how old my dad was?
nah.
Yeah. So that is one of like my
how old was he?
fears.
Wait, first, how
He
old
was 50.
Oh, 50. So the more higher you go, the more it gets? So like, let's say 60 or something.
I think from what I remember, because this was a few years back, I think it wasn't like 51 more. I think it like went like by decades, like 60. There was like a 3% more chance. You know what I mean? Like stuff like, so it's like 53.
Dang.
But I remember reading that and I was like, what the I was like, I'm like, oh. So ever since then, I'm like, wait a minute, is this like a for real thing? Like every once in a while, I'm like, am I talking to myself right now, or am I
somebody else
like
talking to me?
I always think of I'm like, because I do not like, that's the last thing I need, yo. That's the last thing I need is schizophrenia. Like just freaking ship
Add that
me
to
away.
the list.
Yeah, like just ship me away, because there's no way. But every once in a while, like something weird happens, I'm like, was that for real, or is that schizophrenia?
Well, like what? Like something weird, like what?
Like just for example, like lights flicker or something. Like, did I imagine that, or did they flicker?
Oh,
you know?
shit, for real. That
Yeah.
freaked me out.
Yeah,
dude.
or like, was someone behind me right now, or did I just feel like air? Like, you know,
Oh,
yeah,
no,
because
no,
I
no,
also
no.
feel like I have like propensity to feel like, spirits or whatever. So
Yeah.
so I'm always like, is that a real thing, or is that schizophrenia? You know what I mean? Like, I think about that all the time.
Oh,
So
shit.
for all
dude.
of you guys, I know guys can have kids whenever. Ladies are less likely to be able to have kids at 50.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
if you're a man, please do everyone the favor and do not have kids past the age of 48.
Man, why did God make us like that? Men should be stopped like at 30.
Honestly,
or
my
40.
dad, I wasn't my dad's last child, by the way. He had another like 6 kids after me.
Those kids they're 50% almost.
They are
Three
more.
of those
They
are
are.
gonna, three of those 6 are gonna have schizophrenia.
They are more propense to getting it. Yeah, 100%. My dad needed to stop, but I think about that all the time. I'm like, so many men do have kids like later on in life.
Man, dude, that's terrible.
Stop that. Stop that.
Dude, I think
50%.
Yeah, that's crazy. I always think all the time, like, fuck, when Dahlia's 20, I'm gonna be 50 something. I'm like, oh my God, Jesus. Like, I wish I would have started younger, you know, like, so I could have been. But damn, that's crazy,
Yeah,
dude.
that
So
is
like, I wonder,
crazy.
like, do like schizos become friends with things like do they have
objects?
multiple personalities, or like do they have multiple like? Or
No.
no, it's not like that.
So
or
that's
like,
a totally different. Multiple personality disorder is a totally different
okay.
thing.
So, but like, let's say,
Like, did you ever see that movie? I don't even remember the name of it, but it's like, it wasn't me, it was Patricia.
yeah. It was called.
What was it called?
Fuck,
That's
it
a
was-
good movie. But I say that
Yeah,
sometimes.
yeah, I
Like, it
remember
wasn't
that.
me, it was Patricia.
Yeah, that's a good movie because it was part of like a series, like
Yes.
like all the connection of like Unbreakable,
Yeah.
Mr. Glass.
Who?
It was
What's the name of that movie?
isn't it like Beast or something? No, it's not Beast.
But it was a good movie.
Yeah. So so I thought that was really cool too.
Mhm.
Damn it, what was I gonna say? So, but like, do you like just live in that constant state when you're schizo?
I think that you have, like, for example, I'm not always depressed. Sometimes I have my moments where I'm good. So I feel like they have good moments too.
Okay, and is schizo like the wrong saying?
I honestly don't know if it's politically incorrect.
Yeah. Like I wonder if like
I
that's
honestly
mean.
don't know, because that's something I really don't know too much about, because I'm not trying to put that in my freaking
Yeah,
brain.
and
But I think it's still called schizophrenia.
yeah, I feel like you're the type of person that would be like, look it up, and then you'd be like, oh my God, I have this.
Like, I don't
And then
want
you
to
just
admit
manifest
it.
it.
Well, I always say, because my dad, I mean, he was older, so like he didn't get dementia too young. He was in his, late 70s when he got it. But there's actually a really remarkable, like, odd world thing. So there's a specific place in Jalisco where people from that specific place are like 90% more apt to get Alzheimer's young, like 40. Okay. So a few years back, like I would say in the late 90s, like a couple of doctors in California started to realize like they had a lot of Mexican American patients that were super, super young with Alzheimer's. And so like it took a while before they realized like the common factor was like that all these people, their parents were from this one town in Jalisco. And it's not like, it's like literally like, oh, Codotlan. It's
Right.
not like, oh, it's this whole general county or what. No, it's this one town. And so I'm like, oh my God, that town's not too far away. So I always think that like, maybe, how do we know that like at some point, like my grandpa or great grandpa or like, I'm like,
Didn't
so
migrate.
I always like, I put that in my brain. So when I forget anything, I'm like, oh my God, here it goes. It's happening. my function's leaving, you know. And then actually Presley on Saturday was like, I'm actually getting a little bit worried. I feel like you're forgetting a lot of stuff. I'm like, me too.
Oh my God.
But you know, I'm also half kidding, but it is like one of those really weird things, you know, that you have to kind of, if you want me to tell you more about that, I will, because I love talking about that, because that's amazing. That's like saying everyone from Franklin Park, we're just more prone to get right shoulder like stiffness.
But like
That's weird.
yeah, but isn't it it's something like I'm not to drift too much into it, but like you know, like Aaron Brockovich, you know how like that water
Yeah.
or whatever, like
It could be like mineral thing. It could be like pollution thing. It could be Jalisco has a lot of mines. So maybe, you know, like we don't know. It could be many things, but they don't know yet what it is about that town.
yeah. Oof.
And it's been like 30 years since they started discovering that. But like, it's really sad. It'll be like they're dead by the time they're 50 something from Alzheimer's.
All right, so I want to end with this. So right off the bat, name as many mental illnesses as you can,
Okay.
and then which one would you live with?
Okay. All right. So we have obviously depression. We have anxiety, bipolar disorder. We have schizophrenia. We have histrionic personality disorder. We have narcissistic personality disorder. We have, this is a good question. We have, I don't know. I can't think off the bat right now. Those are the ones I think about the most. We do have bipolar depression too, which is a little bit different. We have, I'm trying to think of all my illnesses. we have phobias too. So we have like agoraphobia. We have trichotillomania. We have.
Oh, there's too many then to have that, right? Then
I'm gonna tell you that out of the stuff that I just named, I have trichotillomania.
wait, what's that? What the fuck is that?
So you pull out your hair.
Okay, yeah, you did have said that before. Yeah, you have said that.
And you have like general anxiety disorder, which is what I have, but you also have a social anxiety disorder. You have all that stuff. I've told you before, like if I could do without one, it'd be the anxiety, because that I feel in my body that's the one that's killing me. Like I feel that it makes me, you know, high strung. I feel that my body's not able to relax. I feel that like my heart races too much. I don't like it, you know. It's like basically I'm always constantly working out, which you know that's not good.
Right.
You know? But if I could choose just one to have, honestly, I would choose agoraphobia, which is basically you're afraid of new places and going out. I would say
Do you have that?
No.
Yo, you don't have that.
I don't have
you
that.
love going to new places.
Yeah, I would rather have that.
Mm.
I would rather have that than depression and anxiety and, you know, all that other stuff. I don't want to be like Kanye either, and, you know, all that stuff. So I think I would choose that. Technically, my mom has that. That's why, like, you're always like, did your mom go? Like, no, she doesn't go anywhere. My mom has agoraphobia. But I also feel like she's just chilling at home.
I feel like that's a big Mexican thing, though. No, like we were talking about the other day. Like, oh, you said how was Stephanie's mom's dinner, and
she flipped.
No. She was okay. Everyone loved the meal. Everyone,
Good.
and then except her dad.
Where'd you guys go?
We went to season 52.
Oh, nice.
So we went to season 52. Everyone liked it. They liked the spot. They, you know, but I'm telling you, her family never fucking gets out of the house. Like or not out of the house. At least they never get out.
Stuff.
Their normal stuff. Yes. So and then I was telling Stephanie that he was pissing me off because after the restaurant, we went home and he was just talking shit about the fucking restaurant. And I was just like, oh my God, we all had an amazing time and we all had great steaks. And he's like, you know what? I'm gonna tell you the best steak, and it's the little para run right there that they always go to. And I'm just like, dude, like you go to fucking Paisans for your birthday or everyone's birthday every single year, like, and then like we finally take you guys out somewhere else and you have something to complain about. But anyways,
was he complaining before going to?
I don't know because I just saw him get there. You know what I mean? Okay. So then we went to the house afterwards to cut the cake. But what I'm saying is that like I was telling Stephanie, I was just like what is it that like our parent, like my mom is like almost the same way. Like when we go somewhere,
it has
like,
to be somewhere she's been before,
or somewhere that she's been before, or when she goes to somewhere new, she's just like like kind of picking the stuff apart.
So agoraphobia is the fear of going out or the fear of new places. So for example, like once North Riverside was our mall forever. Yeah. So once they started changing stuff around, like for example, there was no more my mom would not go. Just because now that one store that we basically always went to, Carson's, was going to be something different, she felt like the whole thing was going to be different. And she's like, no, yo ya no voy. Yeah. And it'd be like, what? And like, so anything like that, like, oh, if there's a quinceañera at a new hall that she's never been to, no. Like, yo no voy. Blah, like, and it's just so bizarre. And actually, that's a really good test that someone should do. Because I feel like a lot of Hispanic people, and I'm just going to say, because we're Mexican people, because my aunts be the same way. Like, it's like you are so afraid of something new that you have to tear it down so that you feel bigger. Right. You know what I mean? Like, oh, that plate, the tables were so small. Something so dumb, my mom will say. Like, the tables were so small. Like, they didn't come fill my water. Or like, dude,
Stephanie's mom said this chair's too wobbly.
You see, I'm telling you, like all that stuff. My mom says that same stuff. Like, oh, I didn't like that you had to walk so many steps from the parking to the door, something like that. And you're like, okay, like you're not even driving.
But
like,
the thing that I hate is that like I feel like our parents like push that onto us slowly. Like once I get used to like a certain spot, like I'm like I don't really want to go try another spot. It's not that I'm scared of it. It's just that like I don't want to get disappointed with another spot, like even though I went out of my way to try it. You know what I mean?
100%. Or like if I go somewhere that I've been to before, I won't do a new dish because I don't want to try something new.
Yeah, and then you never know if you're gonna get disappointed.
Yeah, and I do hate that. Like I do envy people that are adventurous with their places or the stuff that they do or eat, because my mom is the most ultimate agoraphobe, and so yeah, I don't know. She'd be like that, and it's frustrating. But I don't know. I guess it can also be from their mindset of lack, right? Like my mom's also like, why do we have to do something? Like we could just have food here, right? And I think it's just more of a mindset of lack. Like we don't have enough, so why are we spending stuff that we don't have? Or why am I letting George and Stephanie take us up to this place? Like that's too much for them. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think it could also be from a mindset of lack that they feel that way. Yeah. Like, they know paisans and how much everything costs. Yeah. They know la parrilla, and they know how much everything costs there. You know what I mean? So, that's funny, though, that he was talking crap about it.
Yeah, I was just like, it was such a good place, and everyone had a good time, and I was just like, oh. So, but yeah, so, before we end, I think I remember the movie, and I think it's called Split.
Yes. Yes. That I highly recommend. That's a scary movie. Well, see, with multiple personality, multiple personality disorder, one of the personalities could be a freaking murderer.
Yeah, psycho. So the thing was with this. Oh, I'm not gonna say anything. Well, it's a fucking old ass movie, man. Fuck that shit. So, anyways, it's so. Technically, these movies all together, they're about like superheroes almost, kind of like superheroes, but these people are just kind of regular. So like Unbreakable is Bruce Willis. He's super power. He's super strong. He doesn't really get hurt. Mr. Glass is the enemy, and he breaks easily, and that's how he has his evil story, right? And then Split is a split personality person, but one of his split personalities is a super strong, beastly animal, and that's how all of them come together, and that's how like Mr. Glass finds the guy that's split, and he hires him to kill the other guy. Anyways, so but yeah, guys, so yeah.
So with mental health, super important.
Mental health podcast.
Mental health podcast, but like definitely watch out for Kanye.
Yeah.
I feel bad for Kanye, but what are you gonna do?
So before we leave, what's the next phase you feel like Kanye's gonna go into?
He's gonna stay here for a little bit.
Okay.
And then he's gonna have like a public breakdown. He's gonna crash.
All right, cool.
Mhm.
And then we'll see when that comes along, and then we'll jump on that podcast from
Yeah,
then.
for sure.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Peace.
Bye.